This is your 6-mark skills question. For every topic that you do, you will have one 6-mark question which is assessing your skills. So the skills that this one is assessing are your analysis skills. So you know this is a skills question because it says analyse the data shown in figure 5. It does not say that you need to use any of your own knowledge. 2 of the common mistakes on this question were where you tried to explain some of the patterns you've identified. So if I have underlined with a wavy line and then I have put NR, or I might have said not needed or no explanation required, NR means not relevant. So that means you haven't got any marks for what you have said. So if you have identified an area of erosion, you do not need to explain why erosion is occurring here. Another comment that I have made is mainly descriptive. So it is not enough to just describe exactly what you see. You need to add value to the figure. It's a good idea to annotate your figure before you start answering the question. So you should be trying to identify trends and patterns. So for this question, the first thing I notice is that above 60 degrees north here, we've just got accretion. So we've only got accretion. We've also got mostly accretion around the UK and the northern coast of France, and also here around Denmark. Again, we've got mostly accretion. In the southwest, in the Mediterranean Sea, we've got mostly erosion. So now I've identified a bit of a pattern here where we've got mostly accretion occurring in the north, particularly above 60 degrees north, where there is only accretion with a small amount of a stable coastline. But generally above 50 degrees north, we've got mostly accretion. The majority of accretion is occurring here. The majority of erosion is occurring below 50 degrees north. So this is now a pattern that I have identified. You also need to try and use the data in your answer and make links between different aspects of the data. So here we have a scale. So I could now try and use that in my answer. So I could say that we've got mostly accretion occurring north of 50 degrees north. North of 60 degrees north, we only have accretion with a small amount of a stable coastline. But accretion is around 2,000, a stretch of around 2,000 kilometres. So now I need to try and elaborate on what I have already said. So I've identified we've got mostly accretion around the UK. However, there are areas where we have got erosion. So around Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland, we have got some erosion occurring as well. Around Spain, the Canary Islands, it is mostly stable. So the majority of the stable coastline is around Spain and the Canary Islands. However, again, we have got some erosion here on the west coast. So I could then say that we've got mostly accretion around the UK. The north coast of Spain is mostly stable. However, western areas of Spain and western areas of the UK and around the Republic of Ireland, we have got some erosion as well along these exposed coastlines. So I'm not explaining why that there's erosion there. I'm not saying that the reason there is erosion is because they are exposed to the Atlantic Ocean. I am just identifying that this is where they are. I could also say that sheltered areas are where we have mostly accretion, so between Sweden and Finland. Again, I'm not explaining why there is accretion here. I'm just identifying that this is a sheltered area. Another sheltered area where we've got mostly accretion would be between England and France, so through there on the English Channel. We can also look for anomalies. So not all sheltered areas are experiencing just accretion. So on the east coast of Italy, although this is a fairly sheltered area, we do have some erosion occurring as well. If you've got two figures, then you need to try and make links between them. However, if you only have the one figure, then you need to try and make links within that figure. So here that would be using the scale as well as the map. So the most important things that you need to remember here are to identify patterns and trends, use data as evidence for those patterns and trends. If you can, then you should try and manipulate the data. So here that wouldn't be possible, but if you have got some data that can be manipulated, for example, working out percentages or working out ranges, then you should try and do that as well. You also need to make links, and that can be between 2 or even 3 different figures or within the figure itself. And then you also want to